Okay.
So all of you have been kind of in on this from a lot of the beginning.
Come on in, Dawn.
But I think the most important thing to start with was that when I got my diagnosis, I don't want to personalize any of it, when I got this diagnosis, I was very clear in my intention. Because the first thing they tell you is chemo and radiation. And just the thought of it puts me into a horror story. My body doesn't want it, I don't want it. And I knew there was another way, and I'd heard about it. And my intention was to love my body and love myself, because I knew that this journey was really all about that. So, we have someone who's very so that was my intention, and I was very clear about it. And I did a lot of praying. And, thanks to you guys, I'm getting exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. And that's the power of intention and prayer and loving. And I think it's been the greatest. Every part of this experience has been magnificent. Except for the doctors and the government. Every part of it has been really.
Which supports greater clarity, because it's like, oh, not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there for a reason too.
Yeah. I'm getting my tests, I'm getting checked out. I'm very happy about that. I just don't have to do that whole song and dance. But I will do what's necessary. So, because of all you guys, I got to go to Optimum Health. And, everybody that I know that's ever been there was saying, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do. And in fact, before I knew that this was cancer, we'd already done a collection to see if I could go. But I didn't get quite enough to be able to do it. And then when this hit and I did Gordon did a fund me site for me, I was able to have enough money to go. It was $1,200. Now before that, my friends Stephen and Anastas and a few other friends gave me some good advice and put me on a supplement program, which I adhered to the best of my ability. There was a lot to do. And I had rituals that I was doing every morning. I was grounding because I had found out that a lot of people have healed a lot of maladies just from lying in the ground naked 20 minutes every day. Just getting as much skin in contact with the earth as you possibly can. People have healed MS. People have been in wheelchairs and been able to walk just from doing that alone.
Oh.
So naked and dry dirt?
Either dirt or grass, whatever you got, just so you're in contact with the earth.
You did it right in the dirt?
Yeah.
Every day?
So what I would do is in the morning, in the summer, I don't know what I'm going to do now, but in the morning in the summer, I would get up and I have a long t-shirt that I would sleep in. So I would go outside and I would lay in the dirt and I would just pull the t-shirt over my head so that my head was covered so I wouldn't get my hair dirty. And I would contact as much of my body with the earth, and I'd have a towel over me so that I wouldn't freeze my ass off. And then I would go in and I would make my wheatgrass and do all my supplements. And another friend got me involved with something called Iscador therapy, which is mistletoe therapy, which increases your immune system like 800%. Because your immune system is what you really need to be kick-started. Mistletoe therapy. It's called Iscador.
That you kiss it.
That's right. Yeah. So I thought, poisonous, but this is supposed to really work, and So I had to learn how to give myself injections.
Did you shove it up your ass?
Yeah, what do you do with the mistletoe?
That's the. You're so ass focused. That's the enemas, darling. The colonics. This is a needle. This is a needle. So I had to learn how to shoot myself, which I never thought I would ever do.
You did?
Yeah, giving myself injections.
Wow.
And you should have been there the day I learned how to do this. I was crying and sobbing. I can't do this.
Is it just a muscular?
No, it's in your belly. You have to squeeze, and then because it burns a little, and you squeeze, and then you shoot it. And I was getting 1, 2, 3, not yet. 1, 2, 3, not yet. For about half an hour. But I finally did it, and I'm doing it. You got to do what you got to do. And I'm sure that that's making a material difference. It also is supposed to help destroy cancer cells. So
I did that.
and lots of other.
Seep the mistletoe and like a.
They prepare it for you.
Oh, they-
It's-
okay,
I-
got
It comes from like Germany.
Oh,
So I get these little vials and then I have to shoot. So I just got another set last night. Oh boy. I've been off it for a few days.
Awesome.
So I'm doing that. I'm doing all kinds of supplements and mushrooms and foods. And I immediately went raw when I knew that I had this. I was about 80% raw before that. And I immediately went 100% raw, and I've learned since some of the things I was doing were not necessarily the best for me either. For instance, one of the things when you go to OHI, they put you on a detox diet, and the idea of the detox diet is that it really flushes out your system, cleans out your lifetime full of whatever noxious things are in there, you know. I had a few days where I smelled green and metallic on my skin. Like,
Coming out, yeah.
yeah.
Green, like in the wheatgrass green?
Yeah, kind of a green smell with like metallic smell. And I had metallic taste in my mouth. And you know, you go through different kind of phases and peeling of the onion with all this stuff. And then you have to get your colonics. And it takes 90 days of regular colonics to clean out your colon if you haven't really done a major cleanse. It takes 3 months to 6 months for this detox diet to do its full job. And like for instance, when I was doing my raw diet, I would have oil and lemon, or oil and lime on my salad. And for the detox diet, they say that oil really inhibits the detox process. So you learn to make dressings without oil, but you're allowed to have things like nuts, seeds, avocado, those kinds of things. But again, whole foods, like it comes in nature, they don't want, because if you take oil like it has an extract out of, it destroys some of its nutritional value. And the whole idea behind the OHI diet is maximum nutrition, maximum benefit from your food. So the detox diet ideally is for 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year, depending on how, you know, whether the body clears or not. One of the ways you know whether the body clears is every morning look on your tongue. Is it white? That white coating will tell you that you're still detoxing. My underarms don't smell anymore. I don't have body odor anymore.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, you're also not eating any animal products.
Yeah, but I eat animal
Animal
products. I don't have veal. I never have.
Oh, you never have?
They do say that animal products do contribute to cancer. And I was on a high protein diet for years. And then like a couple of years ago, I realized it wasn't serving me. I wasn't losing weight. And so I decided just to do like a handful of chicken on a salad once a day or something. And that was my
Well,
nod
animal
to the
protein
animal.
is stored as fat.
Yeah, so I stopped doing that. So thankfully, I think I kind of intuitively kind of set myself up for this whole program that I got into. So when I finally stepped into it, it wasn't too big of a shock to my
So,
system.
of what you had been doing, what, you said some of it was that they had differences.
Well, like I was having
like
oil on my
oil,
salad.
oil.
Oil on my salad.
Yeah.
I was allowing myself, when I wanted, a slice of watermelon. I was putting cinnamon on it because that does take down the glycemic index. But for detox, you really shouldn't be eating any fruit.
No fruit?
No fruit. Sugar feeds cancer. So until that's completely out of my body, need to stay away from fruit pretty much. But I can have grapefruit, I can have limes, I can have lemons, pretty much citrus. And when I was doing, I did one therapy that a friend gave me, which was called, it was a fermented soy drink that really tastes so bad.
Fermented.
And it's $48 a bottle, and you drink half of it in the morning and half at night. And I was there with my grapefruit
So like
slices.
$50 a day.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm there with my grapefruit slices the second I finished downing it so I could cleanse my palate. It was horrible.
I tasted
Tequila shop.
And then when they ran out of grapefruit, because it's not in season anymore, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but then I decided to stop taking it. And they don't recommend any soy products, even if they're organic, they've just said that they've found that this is all based on the Ann Wigmore Hippocrates program.
On the what?
Ann Wigmore Hippocrates program. And it's pretty pure. And you know, I'm eating green stuff all day, pretty much. And I'm learning to make cold soups. And they say raw food because you're getting your maximum. But they do have, you know, they do dehydrated stuff, but they suggest that you don't dehydrate it more than 105 degrees because that's when it starts to break down the nutritional value.
Dehydrated what?
Well, for instance, one of the things I have to do is a lot of probiotics. So they've taught me to make this drink called Rejuvelac, which you take quinoa and you put it in a jar and you let it ferment for 2 days.
Quinoa.
Quinoa. And then let's say you've got all this quinoa, we don't want to waste it. So you take that and soak a few other nuts and seeds and make crackers out of it. Because I'm not eating
It's
any
so
more wheat.
good, those crackers are so good, aren't they?
I'm not eating more wheat. So I will have crackers. They, you know, there's also this thing before I left I had discovered. It's like a dip, you know, because I was getting so bored with those salads, I was going to kill myself. And so Suzanne Strawn told me about this dip, and it's flaxseed with garlic, flaxseed oil with garlic, and it was like the thing that made my life worth living. You know, it was so good. And then you could get it with curry or dill or all these different flavors. Oh, it's so good.
And the flaxseed's okay, that oil.
No, because it's oil.
Oh, okay.
But in maintenance, I can do that.
Maintenance.
Just not for the detox. So what you want to do with your detox process is maximize the potential of what the foods can do for you to cleanse and through your body. So you do that. I had to do enemas every day. And the enemas consisted of water. You do a flush with water. You can hold it for like 5 minutes. And then you follow up with wheatgrass juice. And that replaces a lot of the bacteria and wonderful things that are supposed to be in there. And they recommend that if you do enemas or colonics, that you always get an implant of parsley or wheatgrass juice because it helps to replace. Because
So now how do you do this? You use the water bag,
yeah,
and then you pour in the bag the wheatgrass juice?
yeah,
And then
straight.
you inject that into yourself.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's intense the first time you do it. It's very intense. You can feel, it's like I felt buzzing all the way down my legs and down to my toes and down my hands and down my arms. Wow. It was like,
Cleanses the whole body out.
it was like Christmas lights inside me.
Because you're absorbing, you're absorbing
Yeah,
it as well.
and the idea,
So that doesn't get flushed out.
wait, the idea is that when you get good at this, if you can hold it for 20 minutes, your liver may actually absorb it, which is really a good thing.
How do you do that?
And it cleanses and revitalizes your liver. I'm about to 3 minutes.
Wow. So
It's really intense.
this
Did you
is,
try doing shoulder stands? Seriously?
No.
When it's inside of you, do a
No,
shoulder
I
stand.
do a lot of massage and toning because, I mean, you feel it. It's kind of like, whoa.
I know my God.
So I,
gravity on this one.
I was in the bathroom, my poor roommate, I'm going, oh, but I'm working up to it. And they give you a clear bucket instead of like an enema bag, because I've got an enema bag, you can't see shit. So this clear bucket, you can tell what's going on.
Literally can't see shit.
Yeah, and I never thought I'd be so thrilled at watching what comes out of me.
Yeah.
Then the other interesting challenge I had was the supplements program that I went on, which is very intense. I mean, I'm taking like 20 pills 3 times a day. And I don't like pills at all, I never have. But it caused me to start to have some diarrhea. I was doing really nice releases before that, but I started on this program with lots of diarrhea. I had dealt with diarrhea for 6 weeks. And I was almost going to cancel it because I thought, going there and doing all this flushing after I've been already flushing.
Yeah.
But apparently things get backed up, the water moves around it. So, and they said it's also kind of a function of the detox process and stuff, so I'm gonna hang with
Well,
it.
that's what I've wondered about because my problem, I don't have cancer, I have leaky gut, and I've actually been healing it through things like GAPS diet, which is actually things like bone broth and things like that, which I mean, I can't handle so far a lot of raw. So, but I feel like I've gotten a lot, come a long ways, but I'm kind of at this plateau, and so I'm kind of looking at, well, what's next?
Will you mind try juices that are strained?
Well, that's what
Yeah.
what you had a bit of?
Yeah.
That's what
I
that
think
is.
that's probably a really good way to go.
Yeah. That's what
I like to do it with a lot of the stuff in it because I want that fiber, I want stuff moving.
Yeah, I can't deal with the
Yeah.
fiber, and I still can't deal with cruciferous vegetables and certain vegetables. Yeah, I just can't
If
do
you
them
do
yet.
the sprouted.
That's
do the
why I want it, yeah.
cruciferous vegetables, you'll be a
Yeah.
lot happier.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, so
Yeah.
we'll get together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I lost about 5 pounds every week. Said that I didn't think that was too much. I felt like that was really good. I'm at my ideal weight now that I wanted to be, and I haven't been at this weight since my first summer of college. And I feel amazing. Now, but the thing is that I'm still weak. I like going upstairs is a little bit too much work. But, you know, of course they, you know, encourage the exercise program. So I've changed a few things. First of all, the first thing I've learned to do, I get up in the morning, I throw on some clothes and I go for a walk before I do anything. Then I come back and I do yoga. Then I lie on the ground. And then I worry about the supplements and all the wheatgrass and all that other kind of stuff. I found I like doing my enema thing like late morning or early afternoon, because then it gives me a little zing. The wheatgrass really gives you a little pep for the rest of the afternoon. I don't get, you know, really sleepy in the afternoon. And I'm going to bed at 10:30 every night to make sure that I get the kind of rest that I need, because if I go too late, I don't get enough sleep. If I go too early, I'm up at 4 in the morning. I don't like that either. So I'm on a real, you know, kind of not stringent or rigid, but very determined program.
Disciplined, darling, disciplined.
Yeah.
I like determined also,
Yeah.
that's a great word.
Full-time job you are.
And,
Well, we all are, that's the thing, if we were, we'd all be healthier.
and I think my skin is amazing. It's gotten amazing. And I've heard so many stories at this place. I mean, there's this one guy that was like 500 pounds, 420 pounds. And they had pictures, and he was like tremendous. He got a picture of this guy he wanted to look like, with the six-pack abs and the whole thing. And he lost all the weight. He never had to have skin removal surgery.
How old was he? His skin tightened?
He was in his 40s. And he ended up looking a lot like that picture. The skin tightened up, everything. So I'm visualizing a lot of my collagen returning to my skin.
How long was he there for? How long?
I do want to have these other benefits, and it's like, okay, I don't need to lose, you know, it's like.
So I'm going to be doing some hypnotic recordings to facilitate some of those kinds of things, and I'm doing meditations every day. There's one meditation I do where I go to the center of the earth and I go to the as above and I bring it into my heart and spread it around, and then I activate every single chakra with an intention, and I see it like a really burgeoning flower, you know, and I'm activating my multidimensional self. I mean, and every day I'm really calling in all this stuff. And what's so fun is that, you know, you were at that first Goddess camp, Patty, and you were there too, where I just fell apart on Miriam and let her go.
Excuse me, I was there too.
Yes, sure. Obviously. Yeah.
Shama, is there a reason why you do your yoga, why you do your walk first and then your yoga?
Because that's what gets me going, otherwise I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do the yoga. It gets my blood.
More circulation,
More
it's like
circulation.
more of an energy.
But what about that camp? What was
I had,
significant?
well, you know, I think a lot of you know this because I've written about it, but I had, just before that camp, I was on the fence, do I want to stay or go?
Oh, that, okay.
And
spoke about that.
I really wasn't sure because my little future wasn't looking too good.
Do you still work, Shama?
Yeah. And I was on the fence, so I prayed and I said, God, if, you know, I need your advice because I don't know. I want to know what you think. And I went to that camp and Miriam encouraged me to kind of unload a little bit, which I did. And then I had this vision. And I had this vision. It was kind of like a pink mist in a glass mushroom case thing for some reason. But the pink light was emanating. And the message that I got, it wasn't so much in words as it was more in feeling, was that this is going to rock. This is going to be so magnificent, you're not even going to believe it. You're going to get everything you want. And I went, okay. If I'm going to get everything I want this, I want enlightenment, I want my own home, I need a new car, I want my career to take off, and I want my, to be, you know, much more multidimensional in my approach to life and much more compassionate. And I said, if you can give me this, I'll stay. And the gifts just keep on coming. And the cancer has been my friend. It's been a lover to me. I can't tell you. I will tune into it every day and I will give it love and I will say, what do you want me to know today?
Oh, yeah.
And it told me, I am your lover, I'm not your killer. I am here. I am here for you to fill yourself up with love from within and without. That's what you need right now. And I've been through some really, really, really rough stuff. And I really did need that filled up. And God, you guys, you're evidence of it. You're evidence of it. And it's coming from every direction. And it's so phenomenal. So beyond amazing. And I've had spiritual gifts that have come in that I've been asking for. Every time I need something, it's right there. I am learning to really get the trust message beyond anything I've ever known before.
The trust message.
Yeah, trusting that what I need is going to be there, and it just is.
It's my definition of faith, having trust in life's unfolding.
Exactly. And it's been the most phenomenal, amazing, glorious, magnificent, beautiful, fun experience. And I set that intention, and I got it. And I'm still getting it. And I'm on the love train. It's beyond grateful. And OHI has given me buckets full of information that I'm going to be sharing more and more of, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. But one of the inspirations that I got, just so you know, was I had found this raw food restaurant down there. And I'm going to tell you, the raw food journey has not been thrilling at all. You know, I do it because I have to feed my body, and I know it's good for me. But as far as thrills and chills and for my taste buds, not so much. I went to this raw food restaurant, and I ordered this quesadilla thing. It was so good, I dreamed about it the whole week. And I went back just before I came home, and I stopped and got one. So I would have food at home. But then I had this idea. I thought, you know, there's going to be more and more of this going on because people are going to need to heal themselves, and there's more and more information being made available that people are going to know that this is the way to go. So I thought I would run around with the camera and review raw food restaurants and raw food places so that people could have access to information on, you know, what these people serve and how they serve it, and can you eat it if you're on a detox and if you're not, and I thought, how great. And then this happened the night before I left, mushrooming with ideas. So not only, then I thought, oh, I could do a show. I could do a show where there's all these segments that cover, you know, making wonderful, good food for your pet and how to grow your own and all these different kinds of segments. And so then I thought, well, you know, it'd be nice if I do these segments and just put them up. I don't have to make a show out of it. And maybe they could be strung together for a show later if we wanted to do that. But then, you know, years before, I had thought I wanted to do a website that had all organic, healthy stuff on it, because there's really no place that just really is that disciplined about it, that has raw, healthy, organic. They always have all this other stuff that isn't. So I thought that would be a nice thing to do. So maybe this could be a nice site and a nice place for people to go to, and also get information. If you've got cancer, or if you've got MS, or if you've got this, what are the best things for you? Because right now the information's kind of really scattered out. So this is something that's kind of come up for me in the last couple of days that I'm cogitating on. I might have fun doing, being the Q houser of raw food and cancer prevention and that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at today. I've got next week, I have my PET scan, and I'm supposed to see the radiologist. So I'm going to go see him, and then I'm going to say, and then I'm supposed to see the oncologist. Yes. And I'll say it nicely. Yeah. But I'm educating myself. You know, I'm having this experience.
They mean the best. We hope and pray that they mean the best.
They do.
They do.
Most of them do. Some are such egomaniacs and arrogant that even if they think, I mean,
Yeah, that's every walk of life you find that.
They're totally brainwashed. You find
they
that.
are. I mean, it's the whole education, the way they're educated. It's,
on my site,
Anyway.
on my Facebook page, and you know, if you scroll down, there is a recommendation for a film called "Discovering the Cure for Cancer Continued." There are 11 chapters. You can find it on YouTube. The most in-depth information available, not only on how the medical profession got to be how it is, but on their attitudes and approach to cancer, on what's going on with our food supply and why it's detrimental to our health. and, you know, how to get straight on the kinds of foods that are going to be supportive and beneficial for maintaining maintaining health and preventing cancer. This is a wonderful, wonderful series I recommend everybody should see.
What's it called?
It's called Discovering the Cure for Cancer Continued. And these are all the people that I saw at the Alternative Cancer Conference. They literally put it together from August. And it's
The Alternative Cancer Conference?
Yeah, I was there in August.
In August. How often do they have those?
I don't know.
But they have
You
one
did nothing
here.
about
They did, so I got to
You
go.
just get scared.
Every now and again, no reason.
And it was,
It's life.
what was interesting is I had done research, but you know,
Welcome to the
friends
club.
have gifted me with lots of books and lots of information. I mean, I've got piles this high that I haven't even started with yet.
Sure.
But when I went to the conference, I was surprised to see that the information that I got there, I knew about 95% of it already going in. So it ain't rocket science. If I can figure some of this stuff out, anybody can.
You've been like a sponge. Like you've been like a
Yeah.
sponge lately, just so
So-
that all, it's so apparent in your blogs.
He's read my blogs. What do you have to say?
I just discovered your blogs. I didn't find the blogs. I didn't know about the blogs.
Yeah.
You know.
blogosphere.
You should,
Yeah.
like, well, Facebook.
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I mean, we should all like share it, just so
Yeah.
my friend.
Yeah.
To a friend is-
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
I could see you as like, I really, really clearly see you as like this emerging oracle on health, on on anti-cancer, on you know, all the negative shit. Just sitting there, and the way that you're presenting in such power and clarity is, I mean, you were no slacker before, but let me tell you, it was like night and day. The Shama before and where you are now. And I think carrying that to the largest number of people possible is all but inevitable. I really feel
Yeah,
that.
it
I mean,
kind of
just,
feels like
The universe is lining up that way, we'll see.
So I'm open for questions. Yeah.
What are 3 things that you've learned to do differently with your eating plan?
Well, with
your
eating plan.
eating
Yeah.
plan.
Soaking nuts and seeds and before I eat them is really important. Learning to be able to sprout them myself so I don't have to spend a lot of money at Trader Joe's.
How long do you soak them for?
It depends on the nut or seed. There's a chart that I actually have at home that I'll be happy to share with
I would
everybody.
love that.
It tells you when to start it, and when to do this, and when to do that.
And what's
for
its
each one.
value for the soaking?
There
Digestion.
are digestive enzymes that this removes them so that you can actually get the benefit from the food. There are a lot of people who have reactions to these things because of the coating on the seeds and nuts. And it interferes with your ability to digest it. So this is all about optimal digestion.
Okay, so
So
that's
that's
one.
One. Another one is I'm not doing oil, which I love.
What about even coconut? They don't want to let you do coconut?
It's a sugary thing, so not right now. In maintenance, I can do that, but not for detox. I love coconut. But, you know, one of the things, this wrap I had at the restaurant, they took this coconut wrap, I'm not eating bread anymore, or wheat, and you can't have sandwiches. It's so inconvenient not to be able to just grab something like that. These coconut wraps are so good.
Interesting, where do they make them from?
Coconut. They dry it.
coconut?
It's dehydrated coconut. And the wrap that I had, and I don't know quite how they did it. I think they made the coconut wrap themselves. They must have, because it had red pepper in it. Wow. And it was wonderful. So it had a little taco meat of a little walnut, and then it had some sort of other kind of nut cheese sort of layer on it. I got the recipe.
What about the pulling with the oil?
I can still oil pull, I'm just not ingesting the oil. Yeah, every morning I oil pull for 20 minutes, that's another.
And so what's 3?
What's oil pull?
Yeah, oil pull is where you take coconut oil, a tablespoon, and you swish it for about 20 minutes. It pulls all the poisons out of your mouth and cleans up your palate.
Whitens your teeth,
yeah.
does a multitude of things. But
Also-
do not spit it in the sink.
No.
Because it'll fall off the drain.
Yeah.
Oh, your drinks will get clogged.
Yeah.
You
Or
have
the
to spit
trash.
it into in the trash
that
or like
right?
a tissue or something.
Okay, that's good to
What I've been doing is
Yeah,
I keep a little-
totally summer.
I keep a little plastic bag, and for 2 or 3 days I put in a plastic bag and then I throw it out.
So that's sesame oil, right?
That's, I tried it with sesame oil, I couldn't handle it with sesame oil. Coconut oil, I can handle it. it's another one of my
It's
morning
actually
rituals.
pleasant.
Yeah, it is.
It's pleasant, it's just 20 minutes is a long
There's
time.
more
Yeah, it
to this though
It's
than
nice
just
to
the
kiss
food,
after
right?
it's-
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
what else are you
It makes me
detoxing
feel
from?
Well, they encourage you to do emotional detox, mental
Like that.
detox. They give you a lot of instruction on how to monitor your thoughts, how to move, you know. Nara and I know how to move, do this, and Miriam know how to do this wonderful energy movement exercise where you tune into your body and you sound and tone, and it really moves some great energy, and that's another thing you do there, which is really, I found to be one of the easiest, best, most fun ways to move stuck energy in your body.
You can do it today if you want.
Yeah. We can do it all we want. And
Only if you put your bikini on.
Yeah, we're gonna see that body of yours. And I wanna know how you got these muscles. I mean, you look more
amazing.
muscular and toned than I've seen.
It's like you've been in the gym, yeah. Like shoulders and then.
really,
Yeah, I know.
the walking,
The yoga?
the yoga,
Yoga.
the yoga.
Gorgeous.
So it's a very
Gorgeous.
holistic program. Just to give you an idea what the program was like, I would get up at about 7 in the morning, throw on some clothes, and they had a lymphatic class. There's a lot of this. Because this gets
That's
this whole
where you
area
get- yeah.
going, okay? Then we go from there to a circle where we have a little word of the day and a little thing they say about the word of the day. And then there's a little, they've got this book that they say, okay, somebody pick a page and they'll flip it and somebody will go, okay, there, left page. And they'll read it like a meditation that's really lovely. And then we have breakfast, and that starts at about 8:30. We're usually ready to be in class at 9:30.
What's breakfast?
Breakfast is, let's see, mostly greens and sprouts. You get a little bit of tomato, you usually get a couple pieces of celery. You
They
get,
give you tomato?
yeah. I was surprised too, because I wasn't eating tomatoes, but
I ate
I ate them there. And they have these dressings that you can put on, and they have this whole rack of spices. So unfortunately, I really missed onions and fresh garlic. You know,
They wouldn't let you use that?
but they had, you could do this, the
Dehydrated.
seasonings, you know. And they make a lot of their seasonings themselves in their dehydrators. So I was going crazy the whole time I was there trying to figure out how can I do this, and you know, should I buy a dehydrator? Should I wait? I'm still working on it, but. And sometimes you get these seed crackers, or they'd make a raw soup. Some of the raw soups were really, really good. The big thrill was avocado. You get a little avocado because you've got to get some oil.
I love avocado.
But they want it in its most natural form. Sure.
So olive oil,
No.
store, no
It's
good,
it's
bad.
distilled, it's destroyed some
All
of
of
the
it?
enzymes.
All of it.
Well,
They
is
don't
it
say
also-
don't ever eat it, they just say if you're on detox.
So that's okay for maintenance, but it's.
Yeah, but like for instance, what I will probably do in the future, where I would do a lot of oil and a little citrus, I will do it the other way around. I'll probably put maybe a teaspoon or tablespoon of oil with my citrus dressing that I put on myself.
Don't you also have to be really careful of olives, whether or not they're organically grown?
Yeah, well, everything's organic. You know, if it's not organic, it has pesticides. And another thing that they teach you is if you don't want to put it in your mouth, don't put it on your skin. Don't put it on your body. They've got a full line of now different kinds of creams and things to use. And they recommend jojoba oil for the skin. It's supposed to be really good. So, you know, stay away from a lot of the chemicals because, you know, all that stuff, our skin absorbs a lot of stuff.
I know I learned a few years ago that if you are really going organic, to be cautious of the farming because it takes about 4 or 5 years for the farm, whatever the land that's being used, if it's once wasn't organic and is now becoming organic before it's
Well, it doesn't get,
completely
it's certified organic.
organic, right? So, but they could say a lot of
There's
things on
also-
there without it
There
really
is,
being.
yeah, don't
so you
go
have
natural.
to be cautious.
Natural
if you
doesn't mean
are
anything.
really.
And if you look on the label where they have the barcode, I don't remember the letter, and if you write to
It has
me,
to have a 9.
it's the 9.
Produce.
And that says that it's certified organic. You don't want anything that doesn't say certified organic.
Yeah.
And you'll see that those people that have the certification are quite proud of it and display it.
Yeah, because it takes a long time.
Right. And the
get it.
thing you also have to know
And a lot of money.
that I found out is that even if it's organic, if it doesn't come from your garden, they're still allowed
Yeah.
to use a residue of something from Agent Orange.
No.
Oh, that's so. Even though you go certified organic, it's better than what you're getting anywhere else. But if you're growing it yourself, you're probably going to be rest assured that you're getting something even more, pure. Because all these, these toxins are all cumulative. That's why 1 in 2 people are going to have cancer. Cumulative.
Well, isn't it true, I mean, I don't know, tell me, because, we are all running around with this supposed knowledge. Isn't it true that if it doesn't occur naturally in nature, that our bodies don't know how to process it, and as a result, it just gets stored up in our liver?
To some
So we're all
extent.
running around
To
with
some
all this
extent that
stuff
happens, but
for
even
years.
like with corn, for instance,
You can't eat
these
corn.
we people that have European extraction and are not Native American extraction or Mexican extraction, we're not used to corn. We haven't had enough time with corn to really be able to assimilate it well. It doesn't digest well in our systems. So those are things to be aware of. And of course, you want to go local and you want to go seasonal.
Do they let you eat potatoes?
Yams and sweet potatoes.
Yeah, but
only.
not potatoes, right?
Not white potatoes. They sound maintenance if you want to once in a while, it's fine, but just, don't OD on those. I tend to stay away from nightshades because of my right for your blood type stuff. So, you've got to find out what works for you and how your body responds. And of course, one of the things they suggest is go on a juice fast once a week and drink only vegetable juice without pulp in order for your body to kind of get a rest and be able to flush a little bit.
Do they have any stance on the master cleanse?
No, they don't. I do.
What's your stance?
Well, I did the master cleanse like one summer a lot, and I ended up with candida.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
Candida is a flora in the bacteria that is there quite naturally, and its function. Love you. Thank you for coming. Its function is to.
Love you.
Yeah, its function. Bye. Is if you OD on sugar, you eat up all the sugar. But we're taking in way too much sugar. So what happens is the candida proliferates, and it becomes a very toxic problem. I had candidiasis.
Wow.
And it was because of doing the master cleanse with maple syrup. I did everything they said. So I did the master cleanse when this started becoming apparent before I knew what it was. And I did it for a month, but I did not include maple syrup. I just did lemon and cayenne. But the thing with lemon and cayenne is that if you're doing a lot of lemon, it's going to erode your enamel in your teeth. So you got to be careful.
It's all about balance, yeah.
When did you first notice it?
Last November.
Last November.
How did you get rid of the candida?
I went on a very intense, it was a dietary program plus acupuncture plus cupping plus Chinese herbs and teas for 8 months. And then after that I got adrenal burnout. These are all things that contributed to this.
Sure.
I was under an extraordinary amount of stress for a very extended period of time. And when you get adrenal burnout, it basically zaps every other part of your body. And I was already addicted to adrenaline because when I was like 6 years old, I figured out that if I sat very erect and very clear and was ready, like someone was going to goose me any minute, that I was much more on point and present and all the things I wanted to be. So I was constantly keeping myself in that state. Plus, I grew up with a pattern of abuse. And I was in terror most of my childhood. So all this stuff adds up, and it totally drained my immune system. Then when we moved from Granada Hills, it was very stressful again, and I got a B12 reduction. So I've got to replenish my B12. So all these, stresses, I noticed one thing about...
Well, stress renders your body acidic.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it drains your adrenals, and it drains, your adrenals will take from every other part of your body. So my hormones were completely whacked out. But one thing that was interesting to share that I haven't, the jury's out on. Yeah, I was eating pretty healthy for the last, 5 to 10 years. And after one bout after a workshop where we were inhaling fumes from a rug and I got bronchitis for like 3 months.
Wow.
Other than that, I'm never sick.
Yeah.
I don't get colds. I don't get the flu. Almost never down. Nausea, none of those things. So I thought my immune system was pretty darn strong. So when I even got this, and they're telling me, well, this is what the doctor said. He said to me, I'm crying. I don't want chemo. I don't want radiation. I said, tell me something here. Why do you think I would want to do something that's going to destroy my immune system when I need it the most?
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, your immune system is already destroyed. We don't care about your immune system.
Shit.
Wow.
And I went,
What does
this
it mean
is
it's
not-
already destroyed?
This is,
You said that
well,
too?
yeah. Well, now,
Hear him.
there's, I've heard even on this cancer movie that I told you about, there are different schools of thought. One school of thought is, yes, your immune system is whacked, and that's why you don't get sick.
What?
There's another one that says that the cancer fools your immune system. So I don't know which is valid yet. I think the jury's still out on that one.
I definitely do some research on that. Neither of them make sense to me.
Me neither.
So that's the
Really?
school of thought. The cancer cells put out some sort of protective thing that fools your immune system, and that's why they tumor up and they can do what they do.
Okay.
And then there's another one that says that that your immune system is destroyed, and so I don't know what to think. But the only
How about
thing.
just think my immune system is getting stronger and stronger every day?
Well, that's what I believe. Of course. My immune system's friggin' amazing.
Of course it is. I mean, look at you. Amazing.
When you're hit with a diagnosis of cancer, everyone that I have encountered usually is like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? They don't want chemo, they don't want radiation, but they tend to want to live, and they, so it's like, okay, I have to go through this as a consequence or result, and I'll get, and I will be better on the other side. So what was it about those things other than the fear and the sickness and all that comes along with was it just that you just said no,
Well,
it's not gonna
I
happen?
knew for years that was what I would have preferred to do if it was ever going to happen to me. I had absolutely, because I've seen it. Well, a friend of mine has the same thing that I have. He got it the same time.
The same type?
The same time, the same type, everything.
Wow.
Did you kiss him?
No.
What a joke.
I don't even know him physically, but we know each other on Facebook and stuff. This guy did decide, because he was doing the alternative stuff and he said it wasn't working as fast as he would like. He decided to do the chemo radiation thing, and he got in on a study, one of those special studies. And they did the chemo radiation. His whole face was burned. He's got a tube in his stomach. He couldn't swallow for months. And I went, and some people look at me and they go, you're so brave, you're so strong. I don't feel either one of those things. I'm scared shitless. I don't want to go through that. I love my body. I love my voice. I love my ability to swallow. Some people never get their ability to swallow back, and they've got that tube the rest of their lives.
From the chemo and
Yeah.
radiation? There's no surgery wasn't an option?
Not at the time. It might be for him in the future.
Okay.
It wasn't for me because
Okay.
they said a couple things, and I'm really glad because I didn't want surgery either. They said that for an adult, doing the tonsils is extraordinarily painful and difficult surgery. And they said also, because this is called invasive squamous cell carcinoma. It's growing in my muscle tissue. This is that big friggin' muscle that like handles your whole head. So that didn't seem like, they said it wasn't an option for me either. He thinks that he gets to a certain point where the tumor is reduced to a certain degree that perhaps they will remove it from him at some point. But so I originally never wanted chemoradiation, didn't believe in it for all the reasons I've said. And I also, but to be real honest, this is what I believed and wanted, but I didn't know. So I did the 2-track path. I said I'm going to learn from both sides of the equation, and I'm going to study up. And if I really ultimately need that may be an option. I'm not closing my mind to it entirely, but I would prefer not. And I'm going to do everything in my power not to. So that's kind of how I got to where I am with it.
Well, thank you for answering that. Because it's a lot of people do both. Or when are they?
Well, here's what I found out since. Here's what I found out since as I'm watching. And everybody's different, and I think there's a lot of factors that factor in. Your own belief system is a very, like, 3/4 of the deal. So when my friend went to get his chemo thing, I actually read that the type of chemo that they were going to use on him was actually the worst type that doesn't work at all. but he was already invested in it.
Wow.
So I wasn't going to tell him because
Questions about that?
Well, I gotta commend you on how you handle all these comments on your Facebook page. I mean, there was this one guy one day, and I mean, it was all I could do to maintain my own silence, because it wasn't my conversation. You were having a conversation with him. And I'm sure, of course, he was very well-meaning, he was your friend and everything, but he was basically saying, well, I mean, good God, Shama, why don't you do the traditional route, and then if it doesn't work, then you do the alternative. And you went, well, with all due respect, I think I'm going to try the other way around. And then he did a little bit of dickering back and forth, but you held your ground beautifully without putting the man down and totally honoring your own truth and the way you were going to do it. I was just like, oh, I want to be like her when I grow up. It was beautiful. It was really
yeah, that was
beautiful.
I remember that one.
And those are opportunities too for you to kind of get stronger with your decisions.
And that's a part of the show too.
You could see it in her response.
conversation.
Yeah, that's a part of this journey too. And,
Yes.
you know, the part that is you know, I find the most challenging, that I'm really doing my best to reorient my own attitude and approach to, is, you know, I have a couple of issues with authority.
With what?
Authority.
We're all child 60 here.
And so, you know, right there with you. You know, I knew what to expect from the medical profession, and I knew what to expect from the government profession. And I have to say that every person that I've dealt with has been very sweet and compassionate and put up with my hysteria over the way they want things to go. And they have been really great. Even so, you know, the one doctor said to me, well, you can do all the alternative stuff you want as long as you do what I tell you with the chemo and the radiation.
Good Lord.
You know? And they're very, they believe in it,
Sure.
you know? And so taking a stand for myself with them has been, you know, something that I don't look forward to. And I've got 3 or 4 doctors I'm seeing next week. And I'm doing everything I can to turn my own attitude around, so that when I approach them and they see the miracle that I am.
Let's see it. Show us.
So this was the
It used
size
to be almost as big as a fist.
it used to be,
bulged
and it
like
was
crazy.
all here.
Right.
And it's almost gone.
It is almost gone.
Me and God are doing this, and all of you, we're all doing it together, because, I mean, the support, you guys, has been tremendous. And it makes the difference. It makes the difference. And I am so wealthy when it comes to this aspect of the journey, and I just want to honor you and love you and bless you for everything that you've contributed to this, because it's not just me doing this, we're all doing this together. And hopefully we're all learning together, and what I'm going through and what I'm writing about and what I can share about this will make it so that you're not one of those people in that statistic.
When we were in the kitchen earlier, you were like, you said you had some ideas as to why you thought this was.
Oh, yeah, it's in my blog. It's a list, quite a list.
Why
And
is that what?
how this came about for me. I had 2 parents that smoked like chimneys.
Oh, you're kidding.
I grew up in LA, and when the smog was at its worst, and they were doing incineration and all that stuff.
Remember smog alerts?
I grew up in absolute terror most of my childhood. I went to Catholic school.
That's
Oh, that right there.
I'll do it. I had constant tonsil inflammation that was extraordinarily painful. I had very high fevers. When I would get
As a
sick,
child?
yeah, and when I would get sick, my fevers would be 105, 106 for days. There were lots of things, even from my childhood, that added up. That adrenaline addiction,
What's your high fever? How does that connect to it?
well, if you have a high fever for an extended period of time, especially if it has to do a lot with your tonsils, my tonsils are weakened. So that this is where it happened. I was smoking pot to go to sleep at night, and I was noticing some irritation. If you ever see like a white and pink striation on your tonsil, get it checked immediately. It didn't hurt, so I didn't think anything about it.
I mean, when you open your mouth,
And it wound up being.
Yeah, we have your tonsils.
Yeah, and I still had mine. They probably should have before, but you know, your tonsils are part of your lymph system.
Right.
So this tonsil was irritated more than it needed to be.
Tonsillectomies were so popular when we were kids, so why was yours not taken out?
Because my parents didn't want to spend money.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you, darling.
I'm glad to see you living.
Thank you.